So one day I was sat on my couch just watching a film or whatever, and I get a text message from a family member, and she says, "Do you play Warhammer?" This guy at work was throwing his stuff out in a skip, and I said you might want them. And I thought, yeah, I've been in Game Workshop and thought it looked cool, but never done anything more than that. So whatever it was, I said, yeah, we'll have them, me and my son. I didn't know what I was getting. And when I unpacked it all, there were like boxes of bits of guns, heads, all individual pieces, a die that I didn't know exactly what it was for. A lot of things I didn't really recognise, to be fair. And then various weird monsters painted in all different colours, and some of them seemed to have like bits randomly stuck to each other, different weapons that didn't always fit, colour schemes that didn't match. It looked like, some of them were in units and some weren't. I don't know, a lot of experimentation and making it up as you go along. I mean, I couldn't find anything that matched on the boxes, but apparently that's what it's all about. You can make and do what you want. The bigger ships were cool, and I knew one thing, there was a lot of money here, a lot of time and effort. And I just needed to buy the books and the stats to go along with them. They looked really cool, and I got a lot for nothing. And then as soon as the weekend came, I went to Games Workshop, explained I'd had a load of models given, even took some photos of some and said, what are these and what do you do? And he said, well actually, come back next week because that's when 8th edition launches. But for now, I can show you in the shop. He sets him up on this mat and he's like, it's got a load of dice, got tape measures to measure the distance. He sort of says, oh yeah, you sort of move in and you can shoot and then you get up to range and you can fight. And it's really cool. In the game, there's 5 battle rounds. Player 1 goes first, player 2 goes second. And then you work out your movement speed, move all your different units up, and then you see if you can shoot. You're in enough range, you roll to hit, and then you have to roll again to wound, meeting certain numbers, then the opposition saves. Then you charge in for a fight, you basically roll again to hit, you roll again to wound, and then they get a chance at saving, shrugging off damage, but then they get to actually fight back once you've removed their models who are dead, and so then they attack you and you've got to save. That's all in your go. We went back the next week and I think I bought a small starter set. We went home and found that it was full of plastic and we had to build and paint stuff. Not that we didn't know that, it's just that the reality was there ahead of us. It was quite fun to build, quite fun to paint for me. But I ended up buying, the core rule book, just full of lore. And then there was the book Imperium 1, Imperium 2, Xenos 1, Xenos 2, and Chaos. And I went back once a week to buy a new one, and he was like, whoa, you don't need to buy all of them. You only need to know your own stats. But I didn't know what armies we were going to play, and I'm just the ideal consumer. Once I get into something, I want everything. So I was buying and learning and looking at the rules, watching videos on it, and my son and I started playing, and it was good fun. And then you want bigger models, more models, though you have to get them blank again, so you have to buy more paints, and yeah, your paint things extend, bigger codexes, and you have drawers full of unfinished miniatures. And basically, it became a little bit of an obsession. We'd go hot and cold with it, we found D&D, went into that, we found other roleplay games, got into that, but Warhammer always came and went, and Age of Sigmar overtook it sometimes, and it depends what mood you were in, whether you wanted spells or you wanted bombs, monsters or laser beams. But the boxes got bigger and new editions came out, and then we'd get more confident in going deeper into the hobby. Currently playing 10th edition and using the Crusade rules, where there's more of a story behind your army and they level up in a way and get scars in a way. And now my son is currently teaching his friend how to play, and they have Warhammer Wednesdays at our house, and it's just the best. It's a gift that keeps on giving. It's not a cheap hobby for outlay, but then the hours you get out of what you've bought, is that money worth it? Probably. I wish they would keep the books relevant for longer, but it's a business, isn't it, after all? What army do you play? Or do you fancy just starting playing? Let me know.